What if I told you that you could completely transform your reality in just 72 hours? I know that might sound unbelievable, especially if you've been struggling to change your life. You've tried positive thinking, affirmations, visualization, but nothing seems to work. You start strong, but somehow reality doesn't shift the way you expect. You feel stuck, trapped in the same patterns, the same struggles, the same results. But what if you've been going about it the wrong way? What if there was a structured, proven process that could help you align with your desired reality in just 3 days? A method that doesn't require years of waiting, blind faith, or endless struggle. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to a powerful yet simple system inspired by Neville Goddard, a method that works within 72 hours to shift your reality. If you apply this process exactly as I explain, you'll start seeing changes faster than you ever thought possible. Neville Goddard's teachings revolve around one fundamental truth: your imagination creates your reality. But what does that actually mean? And more importantly, how do you use it effectively? Most people believe they need to change their external circumstances first, get more money, find the right relationship, improve their health, before they can feel happy, abundant, or successful. But Neville taught the opposite. He explained that your current reality is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. Your daily thoughts, your subconscious beliefs, and most importantly, your internal dialogue are shaping your experience of life. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner conversation. The way you talk to yourself daily, the beliefs you reinforce in your mind, and the stories you tell yourself about who you are. All of these things determine the reality you live in. If you're constantly thinking, I never have enough money, or relationships never work out for me, or I'm always struggling, then guess what? That's exactly what your reality will continue to reflect. The reason most people fail to manifest their desires is because they never change their dominant inner dialogue. They might do affirmations for a few minutes, but for the rest of the day, their mind is filled with doubt, fear, and negativity. Here's the good news. You don't need years of practice to change this. In fact, you can begin shifting your reality in as little as 72 hours. The reason this method works so quickly is because it follows the natural cycles of the subconscious mind. Your subconscious takes 72 hours to begin integrating new beliefs and shifting your dominant mental state. This is why when you apply the right techniques consistently for just 3 days, you can start seeing real changes in your reality. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. A 3-day transformation process that works every time. How to use Neville Goddard's techniques correctly. The biggest mistakes people make when manifesting and how to fix them. The science behind the 72-hour shift. This is not about wishful thinking. It's not about trying to be positive. It's about aligning your mind with your desired reality, deliberately and systematically. But before we dive into the exact process, I want you to ask yourself one important question. What is the story I've been telling myself about my life? Because that story is creating your reality right now. By the time you finish this video, you'll have a clear, actionable system to reprogram your subconscious and shift your reality in just 3 days. You'll understand why your inner conversation determines everything, how to use Neville Goddard's teachings to create change fast, how to stop sabotaging your manifestations without realizing it, and the exact steps to follow for 3 days to see results. This is the exact method that has worked for thousands of people. And if you commit to it, it will work for you too. So if you're ready to finally take control of your reality and start seeing results in just 72 hours, let's get started. Reality is not something happening to you. It is something happening through you. Everything you experience in the external world is merely a reflection of your inner world. Your thoughts, your emotions, your subconscious assumptions, they all shape the reality you live in. You don't perceive the world as it is. You perceive it as you are. Most people spend their lives trying to change their external circumstances. They try to force things into place, manipulate events, and struggle against the world. But that's not how reality works. You cannot control the outside world. You can only control your inner world. And once you do, the outer world will inevitably shift to match it. This is one of the most fundamental teachings of Neville Goddard. Your imagination is not just a tool. It is the very fabric of creation. Imagination creates reality, not sometimes, not occasionally. Always, the life you are living right now is the result of past imaginal acts, whether you were conscious of them or not. Your financial situation, your relationships, your health, your success, all of it is a direct reflection of what you have been habitually imagining and believing. Look around at your life. Everything you see, everything you experience is a mirror. It is a mirror of the thoughts you hold, the emotions you feel, the stories you tell yourself day after day. If you are struggling financially, it is because deep down you have accepted poverty as your reality. If you are lonely, it is because you have assumed isolation as your truth. If you feel stuck, it is because you have imagined yourself as being powerless. The external world does not create your state of being. Your state of being creates your external world. So, if you want to change your reality, the first step is to stop reacting to the outside world. Stop letting circumstances dictate how you feel. Stop allowing what you see to determine what you believe, because that is living in reverse. That is creating passively. That is giving away your power. Instead, you must start creating consciously. You must take control of your inner conversation, your dominant thoughts, your imagination. You must decide in this very moment who you want to be and persist in that assumption until it hardens into fact. This is the principle behind Neville Goddard's most famous teaching. Imagination creates reality. This is not a metaphor. It is not wishful thinking. It is law. It is as precise and dependable as the law of gravity. Whatever you consistently imagine, believe, and feel as true will inevitably manifest in your external world. It must. Consider the words from the Bible. Let the weak say, I am strong. Not I will be strong. Not I hope to be strong. But I am strong. This is not just positive thinking. This is a declaration of reality. When you assume a state, when you claim something as true in your imagination, you set forces into motion that must materialize in your world. The name of God, according to Neville, is I am. Whatever follows those two words will shape your life. If you say, I am broke, you are affirming lack, and life will continue to reflect that lack back to you. If you say, I am successful, and you persist in that assumption, success must become your experience. This is why Neville emphasized the importance of inner conversation. Most people unknowingly keep themselves stuck by repeating the same limiting beliefs over and over again in their minds. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. Nothing ever works out for me. These are not just thoughts. They are creative acts. And because they are repeated so often, they become reality. So the question is, what are you saying to yourself every day? What do you believe about yourself when no one is watching? What assumptions do you hold about life? Because those assumptions are shaping your world right now. This truth is found throughout Scripture. When Moses asked God, who shall I say sent me? The answer was simple, I am that I am. That is the key. That is the creative force behind all things. You do not become something in the future. You assume it now in your imagination, and life rearranges itself to reflect that assumption. This is why prayer, as Neville described it, is not about begging for something to happen. It is not about asking for something to be given. True prayer is the act of assuming that you already have what you desire. It is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is knowing that it is already done. Most people pray from a place of lack. They ask, please give me this, which only affirms that they do not have it. But Neville taught that the secret is to pray from the end. Instead of asking for abundance, feel abundant now. Instead of hoping for love, feel love now. Instead of wishing for success, assume that you are already successful. This is not self-deception. This is creation. This is how reality is shaped. You do not wait for the world to show you evidence before you believe. You believe first, and then the world must conform. So, take a moment now and reflect. What reality have you been unconsciously creating? What have you been assuming about yourself, your life, your future? Because whatever it is, that is what is showing up in your world. But here's the most powerful truth of all: you can change it. Right now, this very moment. No matter what your past has been, no matter what your circumstances currently are, you have the power to create something new. And it all starts with a decision to stop reacting to life and start creating it, a decision to take control of your imagination, a decision to rewrite your inner dialogue. Because the world is not happening to you, it is responding to you. And the moment you shift your assumption, the moment you take on a new inner reality, the outer world will have no choice but to reflect it. Imagination creates reality. It always has. It always will. And the sooner you take control of it, the sooner you will see just how powerful you truly are. Day 1. Rewriting your inner script. Everything begins with the way you speak to yourself. Your internal dialogue is shaping your reality at every moment. The thoughts you repeat, the beliefs you reinforce, and the stories you tell yourself daily, these are the building blocks of your life. If you want to shift your reality in 72 hours, the first step is to change the way you talk to yourself. Right now, without even realizing it, you may be running a constant loop of negative thoughts. I'm not good enough. Nothing ever works out for me. I'll never have enough money. These thoughts feel automatic, like they're just describing the truth. But in reality, they are creating the truth. Your subconscious mind takes them as commands, shaping your external world to match what you are telling yourself. The first step in this process is awareness. You cannot change what you do not recognize. For the next 24 hours, you are going to pay close attention to your inner dialogue. Every time you catch a negative thought, write it down. Keep a notebook with you, or use your phone if that's more convenient. The goal is to become aware of the automatic programming running in your mind. Throughout the day, notice the patterns. What are the dominant themes? Do you constantly criticize yourself? Do you assume the worst? Do you doubt your abilities? The more you observe, the more you will see just how much your current reality is shaped by these unconscious statements. But here's the good news. Once you see the pattern, you can break it. Every time you write down a negative thought, you are going to replace it immediately. This is where the power of I am comes in. Instead of reinforcing limitations, you will begin to affirm a new reality. Take a negative thought like, I am not successful. The moment you catch it, reframe it into its opposite. I am successful. Instead of, I always struggle, declare, I am thriving. If your mind tells you, I am stuck, respond with, I am free and limitless. The key is not just to say the words, but to feel the truth behind them. You are not trying to convince yourself of something untrue. You are shifting your awareness to a reality where these statements are already fact. You might feel resistance at first. Your mind will want to cling to the old story because it feels familiar, but you must persist. Every time doubt creeps in, reaffirm the new truth. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, immediately replace it with, I am fully capable. If you feel unworthy, declare, I am deserving of everything I desire. Or this is not just positive thinking. This is reprogramming your subconscious. Your mind is like a garden, and for years it has been filled with weeds of doubt, fear, and limitation. Now you are planting new seeds. Seeds of confidence, abundance, and success. And with each repetition, those seeds take root. Let's take a real example. Imagine someone who has been struggling financially for years. Their dominant inner dialogue might sound like this. I can never seem to make enough money. No matter what I do, something always goes wrong. I feel like I'm stuck in a cycle of lack. These thoughts are not just reflections of their situation. They are actively maintaining it. Now, let's shift it. The moment they recognize these thoughts, they replace them, I am abundant. Money flows to me easily. I always have more than enough. At first, it might feel strange, even untrue. But as they continue, something shifts. They start to feel a new sense of possibility. Their actions begin to align with this new belief. Opportunities appear where before there were none. This is how powerful your inner conversation is. The words you repeat become the reality you live. And when you choose new words, you choose a new reality. For the rest of today, commit to this process. Observe your thoughts. Catch the ones that do not serve you. Write them down and immediately rewrite them. Speak the new words out loud if you can. Feel them as deeply as possible. Let them become the new truth of who you are. By the end of the day, you will notice a shift. Your mind will begin to resist negativity. You will feel lighter, more in control. And this is just the beginning. You are rewiring your subconscious, redirecting your energy toward the reality you truly desire. This is how transformation begins, not by forcing external change, but by changing the voice inside your own mind. Today is the first step. And once you master this, everything else will follow. Day 2, visualization and feeling. Tonight, as you lie down in bed, you are going to do something different. Instead of replaying the same worries, doubts, and frustrations that usually run through your mind, you are going to take control. You are going to step into the version of yourself that already has everything you desire. You are going to experience it so vividly that your subconscious has no choice but to accept it as truth. This technique is called SATs, state akin to sleep. It is one of the most powerful manifestation methods Neville Goddard taught, and when done correctly, it rewires your mind at the deepest level. The reason SATs is so effective is that it works when your brain is in a deeply relaxed state, right before you drift off to sleep. At this moment, your conscious mind becomes quiet, and your subconscious is fully open to suggestion. Tonight, as you get into bed, allow your body to relax completely. Feel the tension leaving your muscles. Breathe slowly, deeply, letting each breath carry you into a state of calm. Close your eyes and let the world around you fade away. Now, begin to imagine. Picture yourself already living the life you desire. See it in your mind as if it were happening right now. If you want financial abundance, imagine yourself looking at your bank account and seeing the exact amount you wish to have. If you desire a loving relationship, feel the warmth of that connection, the presence of the person you love. If your goal is success in your career, see yourself already thriving, receiving the recognition and rewards you deserve. The key is to make it real. See the details, the colors, the textures, the environment around you. Hear the sounds, the voices, the laughter, the background noises of this new reality. Feel the emotions. What does it feel like to have already achieved your goal? Let the joy, the excitement, the gratitude flood your entire being. It is not enough to simply see the scene. You must feel it. You must embody it. You must enter it completely as if it is happening now. If you are imagining wealth, feel the confidence that comes with financial freedom. If you are imagining love, feel the deep fulfillment of being cherished. If you are imagining health, feel the energy and vitality coursing through your body. Hold on to this feeling. Let it fill every part of you. Let it become your dominant state. And as you continue to imagine, allow yourself to drift into sleep while still immersed in this experience. This is crucial. The moment you fall asleep, your subconscious takes over. And whatever you impress upon it in this state will begin to manifest in your reality. At this stage, your logical mind may try to interfere. It may whisper doubts, telling you this is just a dream, that reality doesn't work this way. Ignore it. Logic has no place here. This is not about analyzing. This is about feeling. Do not question how or when your desire will come. That is not your job. Your only responsibility is to enter the state of the wish fulfilled and surrender completely to it. If you find your mind wandering, gently bring it back to the scene. If doubts arise, replace them with certainty. If you feel resistance, relax deeper into the feeling of already having what you desire. The more natural it feels, the more powerfully it imprints upon your subconscious. Do this every night. Make it a ritual. And as you wake up in the morning, carry that feeling with you. Live your day as if the shift has already happened. Walk with the confidence of someone who already has what they want. Speak as if it is already yours. Act in alignment with the reality you have claimed. You may start to notice small changes immediately. new opportunities appearing, unexpected events aligning in your favor. But even if nothing seems to happen at first, trust the process. The moment you impress your subconscious with a new reality, it begins working behind the scenes to bring it into existence. Tonight, you are no longer a passive dreamer. You are the creator of your reality. Step into it, feel it, become it, and as you drift into sleep, know that the world is already shifting in your favor. Day 3. Live as if it is already reality. You have imagined it, you have felt it. Now it is time to live it. Today is the most important day of all. Today you will step fully into the reality you have created. You will no longer wait for external confirmation. You will no longer question when or how it will happen. You will embody the version of yourself who already has it. Most people fail at manifestation because they constantly check for results. They look around at their current circumstances and wonder if anything has changed. They search for signs, waiting for proof that their desire is on its way. But this is like planting a seed and digging it up every few hours to see if it has sprouted. The moment you check, the moment you doubt, you undo the work you've done. You are telling your subconscious that you don't truly believe. So today, you will let go of the need for confirmation. You will no longer search for evidence. You will trust that it is already done. You will move through the world as if everything you have imagined is already yours. The key is to stay in the state of the wish fulfilled. This means maintaining the emotional state of someone who already has what they desire. If you have imagined financial abundance, walk with the confidence of someone who is already wealthy. If you have imagined love, carry yourself as if you are already deeply cherished. If you have imagined success, move through your day with the certainty of someone who has already achieved their goals. Every thought, every action, every word must align with this new reality. When you speak, speak from the version of you who has already arrived. When you make decisions, make them as the person who already has what they desire. If an opportunity arises, take it with the certainty that it was meant for you. If a challenge appears, handle it with the wisdom and composure of someone who knows everything is working in their favor. Your subconscious mind does not differentiate between imagination and reality. It only knows what you persist in assuming. If you assume you are still waiting, still hoping, still uncertain, that is what it will create. But if you assume you already have it, if you live as if it is already done, your subconscious will bring that assumption to life. This does not mean you force it. You do not need to pretend or act in a way that feels unnatural. You simply embody the feeling. If you had already received your manifestation, how would you feel? Relaxed, confident, at peace. Carry that energy with you throughout the day. Doubt may creep in. Old thoughts may resurface. This is normal. But the moment you notice them, shift back into the state of knowing. If your mind starts to question, where is it? Why hasn't it happened yet? Remind yourself it is already done. If circumstances seem unchanged, remind yourself the unseen is more real than the seen. You are not reacting to the world. The world is reacting to you. You are no longer chasing. You are receiving. You are no longer hoping. You are knowing. You are no longer asking. You are claiming. Today you live in the end. You walk with the energy of someone who already has it. You trust that everything is unfolding perfectly. You do not search for results because you already know they are inevitable. This is the final step. This is where everything shifts. You are no longer separate from your desire. You are it. And when you fully become it, the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Day 4, the secret of the 72-hour cycle. 72 hours, that's all it takes. 3 days to shift your reality. 3 days for your subconscious mind to begin reshaping the world around you. You may have spent years believing that change is slow, that transformation takes time, that results require endless effort. But the truth is reality is fluid, and the moment you impress a new assumption upon your subconscious, the world begins to rearrange itself in response. Why 72 hours? Because that is the cycle in which your subconscious absorbs, integrates, and begins to externalize a new state of being. Your mind works in patterns, And just as your body follows natural rhythms, your heart beats in a steady rhythm, your sleep cycles follow a predictable pattern, so does your subconscious. It moves in phases. And the moment you introduce a new belief, a new assumption, a new identity, the first 3 days determine whether it will take root or fade away. The first 24 hours are crucial. This is when the shift is most fragile. It is when your old identity fights to hold on, when doubt whispers in your ear, when circumstances tempt you to return to your old way of thinking. This is when many people give up, believing nothing is happening. But something is happening. Beneath the surface, your subconscious is receiving the new idea, weighing it against the past, deciding whether to accept it as true. By the second day, something changes. The resistance begins to lessen. The new thought starts to feel more natural. Instead of forcing yourself to believe, you notice that belief is beginning to take shape on its own. You wake up feeling different, lighter, more certain. Small shifts start to appear. Maybe a conversation goes in your favor. Maybe an opportunity presents itself. Maybe you simply feel an unexplainable sense of peace. These are signs. They are subtle, but they are real. By the third day, the foundation is set. Your subconscious has begun the process of externalizing this new assumption. The energy has shifted. The external world may not yet reflect it fully, but the momentum has started. And from this point forward, it is only a matter of time before it manifests completely. What once felt like effort now feels natural. You no longer question whether it is working, because deep inside you already know. And then, something remarkable happens. You begin to notice proof. Reality starts bending in your favor. You get a message, a call, a sign that something is moving. You hear someone say exactly what you've been affirming. A door opens where there was once a wall. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The world is adjusting, aligning itself with the new truth you have accepted. But here is the secret. You must not waver. The shift is happening, but if you allow doubt to creep in, if you question whether it is real, if you start looking for results instead of trusting the process, you risk resetting the cycle. This is where patience and faith are required. The subconscious does not work in a linear way. It does not need time the way the conscious mind does. It works based on certainty, based on assumption, based on what you persist in believing. The moment you assume something is real, it begins taking form. But if you check too soon, if you allow old thoughts to return, you interrupt the process. The key is to remain steady, to stay in the knowing, to trust that the moment you have impressed a new reality upon your subconscious, it is already in motion. Just as a seed does not sprout the instant it is planted, just as a baby is not born the moment it is conceived, reality unfolds in perfect timing. 72 hours is not an arbitrary number. It is the natural cycle of transformation. If you persist for 3 days, without doubting, without questioning, without searching for proof, you will see the signs, you will feel the shift. And from that moment on, manifestation is inevitable. You have done the work. You have shifted your state. You have impressed your subconscious with a new reality. And now, all that remains is to allow it to unfold, because the world is already responding. It is already rearranging itself. And soon, you will see what has already been created in the unseen. Day 5, the law of nature. Everything unfolds in the most natural way. You do not need to force it, chase it, or control it. What is meant for you, what you have already claimed in your imagination, will come to you in a way that feels effortless, seamless, and completely natural. The biggest mistake people make when manifesting is trying to figure out how it will happen. They try to predict the exact sequence of events. They analyze every little detail, and they wonder if they are doing something wrong because they don't see immediate changes. But manifestation is not about control. It is about trust. The moment you assume your desire is already fulfilled, life begins to move in ways you cannot predict. Events unfold in perfect order. Situations shift without your interference. People, opportunities, and circumstances align to bring you what you have claimed, but not always in the way you expect. Look at nature. A tree does not struggle to grow. A river does not force itself to flow. A flower does not demand the sun to rise. Everything happens in its own time, in perfect harmony with the laws that govern it. The same is true for your desires. The moment you assume something as true, it has already begun its journey to you. But just like a seed planted in the soil, you must allow it to grow. You cannot dig it up every day to check if it is sprouting. You must trust that it is happening, even if you cannot see it yet. The reason you may not see results immediately is not because nothing is happening. It is because reality is still adjusting. When you shift your inner state, the external world begins to realign. But depending on what you are manifesting, the timing will always be perfect. Sometimes things need to rearrange themselves. People need to move. Situations need to shift. What you desire is on its way, but it must come in the most effortless and natural way possible. But here's the secret. You cannot chase it. If you are chasing, you are in a state of not having. If you are searching for signs, you are reinforcing that it has not yet arrived. The moment you fully trust, the moment you let go of the need to control, that is when things begin to happen. The path will open, opportunities will appear, and everything will unfold with ease. Sometimes you won't even realize that your manifestation has arrived until you look back and see how perfectly everything aligned. You will notice how each moment led you exactly where you needed to be, how the smallest decisions created the biggest shifts. What once seemed impossible will have become reality without force, without struggle, simply because you trusted. So do not worry about how it will come. Do not question whether it is working. The law is precise. The moment you assume, the moment you believe, it is already done. Your only job is to remain in the state of knowing, to continue living as if it is already yours, and to allow life to deliver it to you in the most natural and effortless way possible. Because it will. And when it does, you will see that it was never about trying to make it happen. It was about allowing it to happen. Day 6. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. The biggest obstacles to manifestation are not external, they are internal. It's not that the law doesn't work, it's that people unknowingly block their own results. There are 3 common mistakes that keep manifestations from unfolding, and once you stop making them, you will see just how effortlessly reality shifts in your favor. The first mistake is expecting immediate results. Many people assume that the moment they affirm something, it should appear instantly. And when it doesn't, they become frustrated. They question if they did it right. They start doubting the process. But manifestation is not about speed. It's about certainty. The moment you declare something as yours, it is already done. It has already begun moving toward you. But if you expect it to show up instantly and it doesn't, you might assume that nothing is happening and fall back into your old patterns of thought. And the moment you do that, you reset the process. The second mistake is checking for results too soon. Looking around and thinking, is it here yet? Where's my manifestation? Only reinforces that it is not here. The more you search for proof, the more you confirm its absence. This is why so many people get stuck. They do the inner work, but then they contradict it by checking their external reality. But reality is a delayed reflection of your inner world. If you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust that the process is working. The same is true here. Once you have assumed something as yours, your only job is to persist in that assumption, regardless of what you see in the moment. The third mistake is using affirmations without feeling them. Words alone have no power unless they carry belief and emotion. Many people repeat affirmations mechanically, saying things like, I am wealthy, or I am successful, I am loved. But they don't feel they are saying the words, but inside they are still doubting. They are still looking at their current circumstances and feeling the lack. But the subconscious does not respond to empty words. It responds to emotion, to conviction, to the state you are holding. You must embody the feeling of what you are affirming. You must step into it, feel it, believe it as if it were already true. That is when it becomes powerful. So how do you avoid these mistakes? First, trust in the process. Stop looking for instant results. Instead of waiting for something to happen, live in the knowing that it already has. Second, stop checking reality for confirmation. If you have truly accepted something as real, you wouldn't need to check. You wouldn't need proof because you would already be certain. And third, make sure you are feeling your affirmations. Don't just say them, believe them. Feel them. Let them become part of you. When you do this, manifestation stops feeling like a struggle. You no longer question whether it is working because you already know it is. You no longer wait for signs because you already feel the shift inside. And as soon as you stop making these mistakes, reality will have no choice but to reflect the truth you have accepted. Day 7. The precision law. Manifestation is not wishful thinking. It is not blind faith. It is not hoping that the universe will give you what you want if you think positively enough. It is a law, precise, reliable, and predictable. Just like mathematics, it works the same way every time. 2 plus 2 will always equal 4, no matter who you are, where you are, or what your circumstances are. And in the same way, imagination will always create reality. Most people think reality is random, that things just happen by chance. But there are no accidents. Everything in your life is unfolding in direct response to the assumptions you hold. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you internally define yourself. These are the formulas that determine what you experience. Just like a mathematical equation, if the input is the same, the outcome will always be the same. Change the input and the result must change. This is why those who understand this principle can manifest deliberately, while those who do not feel as if life is happening to them. They think some people are lucky, some are gifted, some have something special. But the truth is, the only difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is their understanding of this law. There are countless stories proving this, and one of them comes directly from Neville Goddard himself. He once shared the story of a man who wanted to leave the army, but was bound by strict regulations that made early discharge impossible. No amount of effort or logic could change the rules. But instead of accepting reality as it was, he applied the law. Every night before falling asleep, he imagined himself at home, living his life as a free man. He felt the relief, the freedom, the certainty that it was already done. And within weeks, against all odds, he was honorably discharged in a way no one could have predicted. This was not luck. This was not coincidence. This was law. He changed his inner reality, and the outer world had no choice but to conform. The same principle applies to everything. When you assume something as true, life reshapes itself to match that assumption. It is not magic. It is not a question of if it will work. It is only a question of whether you will apply it correctly. Because the law is precise, it never fails. And the moment you accept that, the moment you understand that reality is a reflection of imagination, you will no longer hope for change. You will create it. Finally, we arrive at today's conclusion. Everything you desire is already within your reach. The reality you experience is not something happening to you. It is something being created by you. You are in control. You always have been. The only difference now is that you are aware of it. For the past 3 days, you have been given the exact process to shift your reality. You have learned how to take control of your inner dialogue, how to use the power of imagination, how to hold on to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and how to trust the process without interference. You now understand that manifestation is not a game of luck. It is a precise, predictable law that works every time. The only question that remains is, will you apply it? Will you commit to this process for the next 72 hours, without doubt, without hesitation, without questioning whether it's working? Or will you let old habits, old fears, and old limitations pull you back? The choice is yours. But remember this, every thought, every assumption, every belief is shaping your future. What you decide right now determines what comes next. You have the power. You have the knowledge. Now it's time to act. For the next 3 days, commit fully. Follow the process exactly as it has been given to you. Observe your inner dialogue. Shift your assumptions. Live as if your desire is already yours. And then watch how reality bends to match your new state of being. The signs will come. The shifts will happen. And when they do, you will realize that you were never powerless. You were never stuck. You simply didn't know how powerful you were. Until now. So, are you ready? Are you ready to take control of your reality? Are you ready to step into the life you truly desire? If so, declare it. Comment below, I am ready. Make this commitment to yourself right here, right now. And if you want to continue learning and mastering these principles, make sure to subscribe. There is so much more ahead. This is just the beginning. Your new reality starts now.